I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, June the 23rd, 2015. An Israeli ambulance that was transporting two wounded Syrians to an Israeli hospital was attacked last night by a group of Druze in Israel's north. The Druze stopped the ambulance near Majd al-Shams in the Golan Heights, dragged the injured men out, beat one to death, and seriously injured the other. Two Israeli soldiers accompanying the ambulance were also injured in the attack. Some of the Druze community living in Israel's Golan believe that Israel is providing medical care for some Syrian rebels who belong to the Nusra Front, a claim Israel denies. The Nusra Front recently murdered 20 Druze in Syria. Last night's attackers reportedly believed the men in the ambulance were part of that group. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the incident was very grave. He said, "We will not permit anybody to take the law into their own hands, and we will not allow anyone to hamper Israeli soldiers in the course of their duty." The Prime Minister called on Druze leaders to bring calm to their community. It is not clear if the Druze attackers were Israeli citizens. Israel's Druze speak Hebrew and many serve in the IDF. However, residents of the 4 Druze villages in the Golan Heights, including Majd al-Shams, feel loyalty to Syria, and most have refused Israeli citizenship. Jewish organizations here in the U.S. are responding to the report released yesterday by the United Nations Independent Commission of Inquiry on Operation Protective Edge, which found that both Israel and the Palestinians committed serious violations which may amount to war crimes during the conflict in Gaza this past summer. Israel criticized the report, calling it morally flawed, as it makes no distinction between Israel making every effort to avoid civilian casualties and terror group Hamas's indiscriminate firing of rockets on Israeli civilians and its use of Palestinian civilians as human shields. Jewish groups echoed the sentiment. Executive Director of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, said an honest examination of the events leading up to last summer's war would acknowledge that the violence was initiated by Hamas and that Israel took necessary measures to defend its citizens. B'nai B'rith International's President Alan J. Jacobs said the report, quote, implies a patently false equivalence between Hamas and Israel, which he says is ridiculous, as Israel does more than virtually all other countries as far as precautions, restraint, and self-scrutiny. President of the National Council of Young Israel, Farley Weiss, called the report a, quote, blood libel on the state of Israel and the Jewish people. The Anti-Defamation League called the inquiry illegitimate in its conception and inherently biased against Israel. World Jewish Congress CEO Robert Singer said it is slanderous and wrong to suggest, as the report does, that the Israel Defense Forces is an immoral army. Singer also announced that the WJC, along with other organizations, would rally in Geneva in support of Israel this coming Monday, June the 29th, to coincide with the debate of the report in the Human Rights Council. Meanwhile, White House spokesman Josh Earnest said in response to the report that while Israel has a right to self-defense, the U.S., quote, expressed deep concern about the civilians in Gaza and had urged both sides to do everything possible to protect civilians. Earnest said the administration was still studying the report and that they would wait for further internal investigations that Israel was conducting of its actions in Gaza. The Krakow Gazette reports that 2 British teenagers were arrested in Poland for allegedly stealing items from the Auschwitz-Birkenau Museum. The 2 denied the charge and remained in police custody, charged with misappropriation of objects that are artifacts of special cultural significance. And a court in Germany said it will not put a former medic at the Auschwitz death camp on trial. 94-year-old Hubert Z., as he is referred to, was found mentally unfit to stand trial by the District Court of New Brandenburg yesterday. Hubert reportedly was a member of an SS paramilitary unit during the Holocaust. He's charged as an accomplice in the murders of over 3,500 people in the death camp's gas chambers between August and September of 1944. The Anti-Defamation League yesterday said they were horrified at an anti-Semitic attack that took place on Staten Island. 3 local teenagers allegedly threw a rock and yelled anti-Jewish insults at a man wearing a kippah as he walked to a bus stop on Sunday, reportedly threatening to beat the man and kill him. The victim called the police, who arrived and arrested the 3 teens, charging one of them with aggravated harassment as a hate crime, menacing as a hate crime, and criminal possession of a weapon. ADL New York Regional Director Evan Bernstein commended the NYPD for its quick response to this incident and its exemplary response to attacks like it across the city in general. And looking now at our programming for tonight, Tuesday, June the 23rd, at 7:20, a JBS exclusive with Rabbi Nathan Lopez Cardozo, Dean of the David Cardozo Academy in Jerusalem. At 8 o'clock, speeches from the Israeli Leadership Conference of the Moetzah Mekomit New York with National Director of the ADL Abe Foxman and CEO of the Jewish National Fund Russell Robinson. At 9 tonight, part 2 of L'chaim with leading scholar of Arab culture Mordechai Kedar, and at 10 o'clock, a replay of Sunday's Live at 5, JBS's new series from Jerusalem in partnership with the English language online radio network Voice of Israel on the sensitive issues facing Israel today. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, June the 23rd, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.